other side of the road, going up the little hills, pulling debris out of there. It's going to be much better for the deer.
Is Robert's not coming?
No, he's not. You're live. You want to go?
That's it, you're right. Okay, it's 6 p.m. on September 5th, 2024, and I'll call the meeting of the Trophy Club Planning and Zoning Commission to order. First item, public comments.
Don't have any.
No, none. I'm not going to read the situation there, so it's okay. Let's go right into the regular items. Item number 1 is case SUP 24-003, Poor Sports Alcohol Use. Conduct a public hearing and consider recommendation to the town council regarding a specific use permit request by Poor Sports Restaurant for alcoholic beverage sales on premises consumption in conjunction with the restaurant use at 2230 State Highway 114, Suite 500, Trophy Club, Denton County, Texas. I'll call the public meeting to order at 6:01 p.m.
All right.
Staff report.
Good evening, Commissioners. So just for reference, this was, Poor Sports is coming in where Blue 22 was. As you said, they are applying for a SUP permit for mixed beverage along with a restaurant and also for late hours. The zoning that does not restrict any sales of alcohol beverages, nor does it restrict any hours of operations beyond TABC regulations. Poor Sports, it does comply with town and state requirements with the 300-foot distance, churches and public schools. The closest church is Fellowship Methodist, over 1,000 feet away. Lakeview Elementary, over 6,000 feet, and the private school Primrose there in Westlake, that's over 3,000 feet away. Chief of Police has reviewed the application, has no objections. We did distribute, as required by state law, for the public hearing. We haven't received any inquiries by email or phone calls, and staff recommends approval. If y'all have any questions.
Okay, is there anyone here that wants to speak in favor of or against this?
The applicant is here as well.
I would assume he would want to speak in favor. But I don't think we need an applicant,
No, sir.
statement or anything at this point in time. Okay, we'll close the public hearing then at 6:03. Okay, any discussion, questions for staff or applicant on this, Commissioners?
The only question I have is, when is your opening date? No, just out of curiosity.
Great question. We were shooting for tonight. Obviously, that got put back. We were trying for Texas OU weekend, or prior to that is what we're hoping for. It's going to a lot of moving parts to come together.
Sure.
But we've got everything really rolling now, so it should all come together. And even if it's not then, it'll be real close to that date.
Okay.
So that's what we're looking
For the record, could you come up and state your name and address, please? Just for the record, okay?
for. Sorry.
Name and address.
Anthony Smith, 6301 Windhaven Parkway, Plano, Texas. Owner and operator of Poor Sports. This is my partner, Steven.
Perfect.
Anyway, any questions?
No,
No,
that's
that's
it.
it. Just
Appreciate
wanted to
it.
be able to
Just,
get a beer.
it was
Yeah.
just curiosity.
I
Thanks.
got you. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, we need, do we have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that the specific use permit is recommended for approval to the council as presented.
Second? Second? Sure. Second. Okay, we have a motion second. Any other comments or questions? Okay, call the point. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, approved. We generally approve those applications for some reason, without much trouble.
Very, very quickly.
Okay, we're going on, that might have been a record, I don't know. We're going, case number 2 item on the agenda, the regular agenda, does not require public hearing, so it's consider recommendation to town council on a meritorious exception for Poor Sports Restaurant generally located at the northeast corner, that's right, of State Highway 114 and Trophy Club Drive, addressed as 2230 State Highway 113, Suite 500, Trophy Club, Denton, Texas. Okay, Matt?
Okay, as you said, they are requesting for a meritorious exception. Our ordinance, and I'll quote this, they allow for meritorious exception to come to P&Z and council to consider a proposal that does not conform to the sign regulations, but may have merit and make a positive contribution to the visual environment. At PD 30, the sign requirement is 2.5 height and 40 feet wide. And most of the time y'all ask, in other parts of town, what are the different regulations? And typically it's, you take the total facade, square footage, and then it's 15% or less on that. So I do have some numbers just because y'all typically ask for that. But as you can see here, on the front, we've got it divided up into two different signs. The top one is about 9 foot by 5 foot tall. And the bottom one is 3.5 by 3.5. Those two square footages total together is 58 square feet. If you take the whole total facade, the 21 feet high by 77, that's a little over 1,600 feet. And if you just do the math on that, 15% of that is 240 square feet. So if this was in another part of town, staff, we could just approve this as it comes down. So, but because PD 30 with the 2.5 foot height, most every one of these signs throughout PD 30, that's why y'all see these.
Every time.
And that's why they're coming as meritorious exception. I do have also, on the back side, they're basically replacing the same that Blue 22 had. And that one on the back is 4.5 by 4.5 feet, and it's about 21 square feet. So, staff, we do recommend approval, and the applicant is here if you have any questions.
I have one question.
Yes.
The height, the dimensions on the signage, particularly on the front, those are final. We've decided those are the dimensions. That's where we've landed. There'll be no changes after.
This is what they submitted.
Yeah.
And so,
Okay.
yes.
That's
Those are the exact signs from the sign company. So in fact, the application actually came from the sign company. There's more details on this. It gets down to how they're mounting it. And
yeah. Just concerned, just wondering if that was still in discussion, but that's all I had.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I've got a couple.
Okay.
What's the purpose or advantage of having two signs on that front facade?
We divided it up as two signs, but because they are two individual signs, but when you look at it, it's going to appear as just the one. You've got the logo and then the name of the thing.
Yeah,
So
what's
you've
the
got-
advantage of having both?
Well, I'll let the applicant answer that. What's the advantage of having?
Again, I'm sorry, you have to state your name and address again.
Anthony Smith, 6301 Windhaven Parkway, Plano, Texas. So when we developed the logo, they're both part of it. So in order to fit and make it look proper, we split them, is basically it. Because the emblem is going to be on a lot of our merchandise as well as the name, but sometimes it'll just be the emblem. So that's why we did it like that.
The emblem being the logo?
No, the emblem being the bottom sign, the bottom portion.
Yeah.
The logo and the name and everything. It's all part of one thing, though.
Yeah, which one's the logo?
Both. Together. Typically, when you see the logo, if I showed it to you on my phone, it would have the emblem on the left side and then the wording next to it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but we just split it so that we could get them both on that facade. And then we didn't do the wording on the back. We didn't think that was necessary on the backside. So something else too, that backside will be on a different timer so it doesn't affect the apartments and everything. The lights will cut off, that light will cut off about 10 o'clock, so.
Is Poor Sport.
It's all good.
Poor Sport. Is that a regional, I'm going to say chain, but
Not yet,
not yet?
but we're planning on growing in that direction, for sure.
I see. Is this the first?
This is the first location. Yeah. We plan to be in Austin and other areas too, but we've got to do this one first and get it right, so. And we're, off the record, we're pleased to be here. It's a great area, so. It took me 2 years to choose a spot, and this was it, so. Any other questions? For me?
You asked my question, so.
Oh, okay.
Fair.
Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay, good.
Just real
Thank
quick,
you.
just for my
Yes, sir.
own. So no, typically, you would have had the round portion. They're one logo altogether.
Correct,
If it was linear, it would have been the PS button and then the writing.
correct,
But because of where we are, we don't have that much
correct,
lineage, so you split it that way.
correct.
Got it.
Yes, sir. For
That's all I-
signage.
that's all I had.
And I'm
I think
splitting it on
I
some
think
of the
it's a
other
real good
items,
point,
depending
Brandon.
on what it
That's
is.
a real good point. Because had we had the space.
Right.
You know. we
It would have all been on one line,
Right.
for sure. Yes, sir.
Good point. Any other questions or comments? Do we have a motion? I move that we approve case number ME 24002, Poor Sports Sign Meritorious Exception.
I'll second.
You have a second. Any other comments, questions? Call for the point. Vote. Unanimous, approved. Okay. Next item on the agenda is consider approval of the August 1st, 2024 Planning and Zoning meeting minutes. They're in your packet if you had a chance to review them. It was a pretty lengthy one, I know. It was, but it got done. So, anybody have any corrections or changes to that? Okay, just need a motion to approve.
Motion made to approve the minutes as recorded.
Okay. Do we have a second?
A second.
Got a second? Any other questions, comments? Call the point, all in favor? Opposed? None. Okay, those are approved. What we need now is a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Kesterson. We have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second. Any further discussion? No,
Well,
okay. All in favor? Aye. Means adjourned at 6:13 PM.
No, Brandon's dinner made me hungry. I need to go.